Okay, so guys, this is me. So my name is Sriram Angajala. So I have been with IT Talent Hub. I do a lot of trainings, and I just associate with them um, on a lot of things. So I am Sriram Angajala, and today I will be kind of hosting the whole program for you people. So I would request you people to all keep yourself on mute as much as possible, and you all can talk when the question and sessions are open. However, I would request you all to be in mute, and this will be around. You will have a lot of time to discuss about. You all will have a time to discuss about the whole questions, and you all can ask me a lot of questions. So you will have a lot of time to kind of discuss with and come up with the questions. So please wait till the end, and if you have any technical questions or technical issues joining or anything, you can always do that by putting in the chat. So there was one specific a thing called IT Talent Hub support team. So the team is there to support you on any technical part. On the subject matter point of view, if you have any doubts, you all can wait till the end. Okay, so that is how we work. So okay, guys. So this will be a wonderful session, and you will really have a wonderful journey to the future, and you see what is happening. So however, I think you all people know that I have been there in the National Testing Conference last week, and many of you people, I had seen a lot of people all over the places. So, however, I had given a conference about how to test data science project there, and there we have I have been explaining about this concept. But because it's a closed room and it is being kind of for limited people, and I had got a lot of requests from a lot of people all over the world asking me to repeat the same topic because the topic is being very hot, and it's been one of the futuristic. This has been one of the futuristic topics about the testing as well as data science. Okay, so it is completely new, two different things mixing together. So that's the reason why, with a lot of people's requests and a lot of requests have been asked for me to repeat that and record this session, so that this knowledge can be shared by a lot of people and they can use that for the future projects purpose. Okay. So this is what we are, and we have a very good speakers today. So along with me, we have Ibrahim, who is from IT Talent Hub. Hi, Ibrahim.
Sorry about that, Shri. I'm just trying to unmute the mic. Hi, how are you, Shri? Okay?
Yeah. Okay, welcome, Ibrahim. So he is our from IT Talent Hub. And we also have Rui, who is from IC Training. Hi, Rui.
Hi, Sri. I hope everyone is all right, and it's a pleasure to be in here today.
Perfect, Rui. Perfect. Okay, and we got Bonesh, who is a data scientist. He's from Coforge. Hi, Bonesh. How are you?
Hi, Sriram. Hi. Hope you all are doing well. Looking forward to have you guys, and yeah, we'll see some great things today. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So we also have one more person here. Okay, Harshada. Harshada, are you there? Yeah, Harshada is also a data scientist. So she will be there. But Harshada, are you there? Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think she'll be joining very soon. Okay, guys. So yes, this is our speakers. Yeah, I think she just came. Perfect, on the time. Hi, Harshada. Can you hear me? Okay, give me 1 second, guys. She just hi Harshada, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How is everyone?
We're all good. We're all perfect.
So have you started?
Yeah, we're literally doing. I'm just introducing the speakers. So you are bang on time.
Oh, all right. Good to know that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is perfect. So this is our team, guys. We got these are our speakers, and then and we will be discussing about various topics. So it will take some time. You guys, hopefully, please, you guys mute, put on mute, and hopefully you will have a wonderful time for next 2 hours.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, guys, wonderful. I think we got a very good audience. We are almost more than 50 people on the call, which is great. So let's just start this. Okay, so it is. I think you all know me. Okay, so it is I am Sriram Mangajala. So I have a little bit intro about myself. Okay, but I'm doing this stuff as well. Okay, so this is me, guys. So this is me. My name is Sriram Mangajala, and I have been doing a lot of conferences, and I have been doing a lot of conferences. But however, personally, I am a Python developer, having 15 plus years of experience working with various industries. I worked for various. You might have seen my LinkedIn profile. Or if you don't know, just go to LinkedIn and put my first name, last name. You will get me. And I have been working with a lot of companies, including BBC, Eurostar, TFL, government projects, and what else? A lot of companies, I don't remember even. A lot of companies, and now I've been in Sainsbury's digital. So I got a lot of experience in both testing side and development side. So recently I have been doing some data science projects as well. And then coming from a training and coaching point of view, I have more than 10 years experience in UK, training at least more than 1,000 people. And many of the people know me as a good trainer, which I will be doing at my part-time. So I do a lot of trainings, and also I do a lot of videos in YouTube, and I do a lot of meetups as well. So that is what I normally do. However, specifically national testing conference, I have been there almost more than 5, and recently last week in British Museum, I have been there talking about the same topic. So that is me. Okay, so it's been a big journey. Okay, so it's me, guys, and you can always search me in LinkedIn, and please connect to me, and we'll take it from there. So okay, so the next thing is I will be giving the screen to Ibrahim. He's from IT Talent Hub, and he will actually quickly, as per our agenda, he will quickly go through the IT Talent Hub, and after that review will take. So Ibi, are you ready?
Yes, man. Yes, man. I'm ready. It's so good to be here, guys. It's so good to speak to you. Let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm just going out the share screen. Okay, I hope you guys can see the screen. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. I'm going to be speaking about IT Talent Hub, and I'm going to be telling you a bit about us and what our goals are and who we are, okay? My name is Ibrahim Jaweed. I'm an executive recruiter working with IT Talent Hub, okay? It's so great to be here, so great to speak to you guys as well. Our team, this is our team. We've got trainers and we have recruiters as well, okay? We have quite a few trainers, okay? I'll just give you a second to just have a look at the teams. About us. Hold on, let me. I can see it. We help businesses to grow by upskilling their teams and help them to hire best talent for now and for the future. We also help talented individuals to improve their skills and convert them to careers. So what we're aiming to do is helping to upskill and to also help train staff. Okay, we train. What do we train? This is what we train. We train a lot of IT trainings. Okay, we do software testers, and we train to become world-class quality inspectors with strong technical skills. We also do software development to create world-class applications with rich UI and strong back-end systems. With DevOps to create world-class infrastructure and automating everything. Cloud engineers to run whole company's infrastructure on cloud. AI data science engineers to source data, develop machine learning modules, and predict the future for the business. Cybersecurity specialists to work on maintaining the security of networks and data for companies and organizations. This is for companies become your training partner. We train staff from our large network of tech pros. We support with recruiting from our network. We upskill and on-job technical support for existing and new staff with latest technologies. Also for individuals, what we do, this is our services. We do training, upskilling, helping with recruitment, visa sponsorships, consultancy, internships, apprenticeships, PSW jobs. These are our clients. We've worked with many, many clients, as you heard Sri saying earlier. Okay, we have obviously PSP, Sainsbury's, Eurostar, Beats Me, London General Practice, and we have many. Also, you can contact us and you can find our contact information on YouTube. You can find it on our website, LinkedIn, Instagram, and this is my personal information as well. I'd love to speak to you guys. I'd love to get into contact with you guys and speak to you and, you know, help answer some questions, helping your organizations, helping you guys out individually, and, you know, helping you travel in the future. Whatever you guys need, I would definitely love to help you guys out. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibrahim. So that was nice and sweet. So thank you very much. So guys, if you have any questions, you can ask him. Do any of you have any questions to Ibrahim?
If you can, try putting it in the chat as well.
Yeah, Ibrahim, I think what you can do is you can put your website on the chart.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
and then people can go through. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. I think you're on time. Perfect. Thanks for, you know, making that a small presentation. So, and again, thanks all of your team and to actually, you know, to create the presentation. Perfect. So, okay, Rui, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Can you hear me? Okay, Rui, it's all yours now.
Okay, so let me introduce you quickly. So we are IC Training Center. What we do, we create several trainings and apprenticeships to companies, and we show them the benefits of doing it. Between 2012 and 13 and 21, there was 3 million people that have completed an apprenticeship in UK. So as you might be aware, apprenticeships at the moment contributes about £3 billion to the UK economy, which is huge. So the impact of apprenticeships on the UK, it's been growing at scales that never been seen. Apprenticeships deliver strong business benefits such as increased productivity and staff retention, reduced costs, and a more diverse workforce. Other benefits include increased profits. You know, BT estimated that higher earner becomes net profit of over 1,300 per apprentice compared with non-apprentices. So this means what? That nowadays, if you project into the future as a company by hiring apprentices, you will have more profit than hiring a professional and experienced one. So this is facts. So these are published in CBR, published with the government researches and employer skills surveys from 2019 to 2021. The most common reasons for offering apprenticeships were to acquiring talent, both for the establishment and for the industry. Overall, 50% of establishments had recently started offering apprenticeships, gave these as the reason to say we need to keep increasing those values.
Yeah, can I stop you for a minute? I think if
Yes.
you're presenting something, I think there is no slides seen there.
I know.
No, he's not presenting, he's talking.
All right.
Really sorry for that. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was in the traffic and I stopped because I couldn't reach on time. 2 hours in London, which I should have prepared better. Anyway, these are benefits to businesses and to society, because on the other side of this, and I'm going to be really fast so you don't fall asleep. Sorry for that. It needs the images, definitely. Apprentices are often motivated to learn new skills. So they're youngsters who can upskill your existing workforce. They can be motivated easily, better staff retention, and future-proof for your business. The benefits for your business comes from hiring a productive part of the population. They are highly energetic. 80% of employers said apprenticeships help them develop skills relevant to their organization. So they don't only become cheaper and more energetic, they bring innovation, because the youngsters, they're more prepared to technologies, and they benefit all companies. 78% of employers said apprenticeships help them to improve productivity. We know that energy comes out with it. And 74% of employers said apprenticeships help them improve the quality of their products. I believe in that. So I'm going to make it short. Thank you so much for hearing me. Next time, if I have a chance, I will publish some of these statistics and facts and send it to all of you. You can see our IC Training Center website on ictraining.co.uk, and please, any doubts, just give me a call, or just put your questions in the group, and I'll do my best to reply to them. Sorry, Shri, it was what it was. I didn't have time to reach the office.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, no problem. Yeah, really, I mean, it's great, great that at least you made it. So that is really helpful information for all of the companies and the individuals, because in UK, if you are in UK for more than 3 years, you all are eligible for becoming an apprenticeship, where you can work for a company while you learn through this organization called IC Training, which can help you to upskill as well as you work, as well as you actually learn. Okay, so example, you are a tester, you want to become a data science or data analyst, you can do it by enrolling for the data analyst level 4 course. Or if you are a tester, you want to become a DevOps, you can still do that. Okay, so yes, this is all possible by becoming an apprenticeship, or becoming kind of, you can always talk to me, we can help you for your organization or for you as well. Okay, yeah, Krishna, I think you raise your hand.
Yes,
Do you
yes,
have a doubt?
Sriram. Yes, I got a couple of questions actually. One for apprenticeship. You talked about if you're living in UK for 3 years, you're eligible. What is the educational qualification? And the second question is for actually, do you guys maintain government regulatory kind of thing? Because I do have a team. I do have a couple of test apprenticeship in my team. So just wanted to know. I wanted to take one more test apprentice in my team, and like if anyone else wanted to do the test apprentice from you guys, what are the things you guys are considering?
Ray, are you in a position to answer, or shall I answer on your behalf? Okay, maybe it's not in the position, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I will try to answer this question, Krishna. So yeah, basically, the IC training is a gateway for apprenticeship. So if you are, yes, if you, obviously, this is completely government regulated. Apprenticeship is something which is coming from the government, and there's a grant of £3,000. If for a company who want to hire an apprenticeship, I think many of people know that. So that is a grant that the government will get if you hire an apprenticeship. That is for the company's point of view. For the candidate point of view, if you people are looking for an apprenticeship, number one is, yes, you should be in 3 years. The other thing is you need to have a basic English and maths, and you should have at least basic testing skills. So if somebody have gone through the training through IT Talent Hub and they complete the training, they will be eligible to become an apprenticeship. Okay, basically, if you have an ISTQB examination certificate, then you can become a software. You can then go to apprenticeship and you can learn and as well as you can work. So basically, if you got a ISTQB or if you got trained from institute like IT Talent Hub, then they will be eligible to become an apprenticeship.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Krishna.
thanks. Yeah, thanks, Sriram.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let us go to the next and the most awaiting topic is Harshada will be discussing about the challenges of developing a complex data science projects because I know the world is moving towards this data science, and however, it's not that easy. Don't think that becoming a working on data science project is just like that. It is not like developing a website or not like developing an application. Is completely different, and we've got a lot of challenges that a lot of companies are seeing. So I would request Harshada to share her screen and show us what kind of challenges that she is facing. And she's coming from a company called MedShift, and maybe she can give some overview of that company. And then I would expect her to blow out our minds on this most interesting topic.
So thank you for the very nice introduction, Shreya, first of all. So to begin with, I am a data scientist at MedShift. It's a weather company in UK. So mostly our work is to analyze the 27 billion lines of data. So it's a very large amount of data that I've never worked before. So I got my degree from University of Essex. I studied here, and trust me, during the pandemic, getting a job wasn't actually easy because even most of batchmates hasn't got the job. So that was the question that has been asked to me most of the time on LinkedIn. Yes, it gets difficult in this field, but as long as I think it's mostly about your performance and your knowledge in this field and the knowledge of your languages. That is going to help you out throughout the process. So you are eligible because this is one of the most asked question, be you eligible? Yes, if you have got the degree and you have got the relevant experience, you will be able to apply in any industry, UK, abroad, even US. It's just that you got to have experience because that matters. Even if you have the master's or not, it doesn't count. That's the unfortunate situation here. But yeah, so let me share my screen and we'll go to the PPT that I've made. Okay, just need to find. Okay. So can everybody see my screen here?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'll just minimize this. Let us go through. The first is that, just a second. Okay, I'm not able to F5.
Yeah, you can click on that the presentation icon in the right hand down. Yeah, just try a little bit. 1, 2, 3. That one, perfect.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Perfect,
So
perfect, nice.
Just a second, yeah. It's not able to find out. So, so first of all, to begin with the data preparation, that was the most difficult challenge when I had to face. So I'm going to go through my university experience here rather than what I'm working now, because that would be more feasible. Because what happens right now in working, there's a huge difference. So what I've learned was a different thing. We were testing on a very small data set. So that was about only thousands of data, thousands of lines. That was nothing. But even then, we were making sure that under the module data science and decision making, we would get a lot of exposure to it. So we have to first of all prepare the data, which is the labeling. So we need to know what kind of data we are using, whether it's supervised, whether it is unsupervised, or it's a reinforcement. So that is the first step to begin with while choosing your data set. Then the multiple data sources. So what happens that have happened with me, the Kaggle is a free data source that we can use to download and test the data. And there are many competitions over there, but we cannot access every data present there. So most importantly, it's going to be that you need the confidential information. If you need access to that, you will need the permission. And there are Kaggle keys that will help you out with it, but sometimes you will not get access to it directly. So I have like one of my friends, he had to make like several fake Gmail accounts in order to get one simple free data from Kaggle, which was, okay. So which was really not good thing. Can you see this blue line? Okay, I do not know why that happened, but okay. So is this made by you? Sriram?
No,
Can you
no,
see
no. I
this
think
blue line?
it's somebody's mistake. So I'll try to clear it off. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't there. Yeah.
There's a drawing tool. Somebody is drawing. Okay, can we think it will be how we can this just okay. Okay. One second.
From toolbar annotation, Sriram sir.
From toolbar. Okay.
Annotation,
So
yeah.
annotation toolbar.
There is
You
a
can continue.
erase.
You can continue. I'll try to search these controls.
Okay. All right. So then multiple data resources, that's done. The next would be imbalanced data. So that was our first task, to actually get the imbalanced data and work on it. Just trying to solve how we will get to end of it. So the target would be like, for me, it was the Titanic data. So it's going to be a Boolean value, so 0 or 1 specifically. So if you're talking about the diabetic patient, so I've worked on diabetic, Titanic, and several other data sets. So it is going to be always a Boolean value, and not necessary, but that's what I've worked with, was whether it's 0 or 1, and you'll have to make all the statistical analysis over it and predict that how many people must have died and how many people have survived in Titanic. That was one of the key measures. So either side 0 or 1 to the new data. So it's always is going to be like that. You have to do the prediction analysis. First of all, you have to resolve the problem by using the k-means as mode, random oversample techniques to resolve this problem. And this can be really done easily. It's just that with the very good visualization tools, you'll be able to do it. Then overfitting and underfitting these are the, again, basic problems that we get when you get data set anytime, anywhere. So we have to make sure that we are training the data set many times when we get this kind of problem. So basically training and testing, we do it like 70-80, 70-30, 80-20, or 50-50%. Mostly I go for 70-30% while testing the data set. But right now, even in my work, we train the data model as much as we can. So we are working with the neural networks, and I make sure personally that we're training the data set for 70% of the data set as much as we can. Not much, obviously, for like 200 times not, but it has to be like 100 times at least, so that we will not have this problem in future and the prediction will go smooth. That would be like careful cross-validation, removing the duplicates, similar features, and the training, as I said, on more of the data would resolve the overfitting issue. Then the data security, as I said earlier, that we will not get the access to all of the data. the confidential data is going to be vulnerable. And especially is that while working with this firm, we have got this billions of data and we have already predicted it, right? Now it is our task to make sure that it's secured. Otherwise, it can be hacked easily. So these kind of problems have been faced by like MNCs and a large group of companies, because this data that we are going to predict and we have already predicted worth millions of values. A recent event, our client, I think he lost 1 billion just because there was a cyclone and we told them not to do it, not to keep continuing the construction on that site. But he was in a rush and the client thought, let's take a chance. So he lost 1 billion due to it. So our prediction analysis and our predicted data sets, it has a much higher value. So when you have got the data, it's all about making sure that it's secure and you are not getting an access to any vulnerable data that will malfunction your system. So there were not many challenges I could think of. There were the few that in my mind. So there were another topic that we can talk about, the machine learning models that we had. One of my interesting personal favorite is neural network, because I'm working on it currently. It's the neural network, which kind of behave like a human brain. Many data scientists, there are several machine learning models that we need to study during this course or even in the future. So it is one of them, where we get the input layer, the output layer, and there are going to be the hidden layers in between, which where we're going to train our data set accordingly. And trust me, it is one of the best, as it predicts really better than other prediction models. So we have got decision tree, we have got like random forest, k-means. So there are different things that we can use, but this has been always my favorite, as there are perks to it. So how to build a neural network? First, we have to configure our data set, make sure that the architecture is according to your business. So first of all, if you have solved your business issue and you know what you need for your business, so this actually breaks down the problem to it. So just have to train the neural network. You have to make sure that we're giving the right set of data to it. And the shaping problem, yes. So we'll talk about it, because that's the one that I had faced. Not many do, but it depends. So we'll have to reshape the data, we'll have to inverse and fuse. So, but after that, once you're gonna get the test result that would be our predicted data set. And you just have to, that's how it's simple. It is that simple. I wish it was the way I talked about it, but yes, there are going to be a lot of Python scripts that we have to work through. We'll always need to make sure that the scripts are fitting according to our data. And if it doesn't, then there are going to be a lot of changes that you need to make to it. So there are some known methods, LSTM, that is log short of model, window method, stacked LSTM. There's going to be multiple LSTM model for it that we can use. But what I would say, if you're coming into this field, just know what you're doing and know what you're interest into. So it's not like, I still remember when I was coming back to UK again this year, I was asked by the airport security that, isn't this job is a little bit boring? And then I was like, why many people think so? So if you really have got interest in one thing and you know what you're doing, you can make it interesting enough to work with it every day. So it doesn't matter that how long you work. People work part-time, full-time. As long as you're having an interest in your work and you're liking it, it doesn't really matter. And not all the developers, all the testers has the world's boring job that people think is described. It can be fun. Yeah, it gets sometimes frustrated when your code isn't working, you have to just get back and forth to it. So these are the couple of challenges that have been faced by many of us in this industry. But what I would say is just keeping your mind calm throughout it. And, you're going to have your colleague support and if you're just being honest, and you have to, it's not about then always matching the deadline. Obviously, there are going to be need of client. But if you're honest to yourself with this, I think that being a data scientist, it's not that difficult if you want to, and you put a right effort into right direction to it. So I think it was a very short presentation, but that was it for me. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions to me, then we can definitely, but I think I will give the control to Shreya. Thank you.
That was really mind-blowing, especially it had to have a cyclone. I think, Hope, did you predict the cyclone in this meetup?
Yeah. No, we did predicted it like a few months back, so that like we are covering the whole globe. So mostly our client comes from US because there are so many cyclones and tornado situations out there, and they need to stop the construction in time. If they do not, and we cannot have the false predictions either. So we need to make sure that our analysis is as accurate as it gets. Obviously, we cannot like when it's about earthquakes and other calamities, which are fundamentally unpredictable, we cannot do anything. But these are some relevant types that we can predict, and with the models that we have already developed in our application, that does really help. So I would say it's just a matter of fact. I mean, people come in this field just for the money. I would not recommend you do that, because if you're just behind the money, then you're going to lose all the interest. So if you're here to just gain the knowledge and learn every day, the learning process never stops, because there are thousands of languages, the models and the tools that you can use to prepare your data sheet and predict the future. It's just not going to be Python always, which I'm right now working on. So even I am young, to be honest, to be working with the specialists and the experts in this industry. So it feels really good to be here. It's just that it's not as easy as I thought. When I was in my undergrad, I thought that data science would be easy, but when it comes to stats and the Python and the languages that you need to learn for this, it gets a bit difficult because even I've said my colleagues, they were much older to me, they had a lot of experience, yet we all face the same challenges when you go to different universities in London, or I don't know how it is now in India right there, because my friends are learning data science in India so that they could come abroad after that. But what I would suggest is that if you're using various tools and if you have a good command on the language, then yes, it will be very easy for you to get where you want to, even in this field or anywhere, anything you would want to do in future. So
okay, so very nice, very nice way of explanation. I totally appreciate. If I ask you one question, that what suggestion that you give, because there are a lot of people in the group who are learning data science, which I know, because especially a lot of international students who joined this particular meetup, and they are looking for a data science job, and they are looking for something to do on the data science, and you already be in the job. So what one suggestion that you give all the students who are looking to get a job in data science field?
Yes, that's, I think my LinkedIn feed and my most social accounts has been filled with it. They think that, something that I did specially, or I have had like real relevant experience to it. No, I literally didn't. So what I did, I completed my undergrad and bumped into master's right after my degree, which wasn't the right decision at the time. Now, thankfully, it turned right. But I've seen a lot of companies in UK ask for relevant experience. So if you have experience field in your CV, which I had, but I did not know that it can be counted as an experience. I was a research analyst before coming here while my undergrad. So I was working for an international research paper that was held in West London University. So that really did help for me, that I specified as an experience, not only an educator. So whatever you did in your past, if is related to any coding, even if it's so for your own, yeah, just make sure that you're putting it in your experience column. I didn't do that in the beginning when I came here. So I just started applying for the jobs and it didn't work. So I stopped for a while. I did not apply anywhere until I get my degree. Once I got my degree, the last December, next January, the offers were coming to me because now I have got my degree and have degree in my hand. I've got a relevant experience to it, because what I did, most of people do not do that. They do not put their degree project experience in experience field. So what we do is whatever even if it's going to be a small project, it does not have to be I have to work on a larger database or data set in order to put it in your experience field. No, things here work as mostly your CV is going to go under the machine and it would be rejected by the AI. So it's not going to even go to the manager or the particular HR of that company. So you need to make sure that you can add as much as relevant experience in your CV to it, even if you have done. So start doing projects on your own. Go to Kaggle. It's a very really good data set, which is free for all of you. If you are really interested, go take a data set, pick any data set. The notebooks are there. So it's not like you have to start building up the code from the scratch. In the beginning, if you're a beginner, start using the code, start printing few lines, see what it does. And then you will able to make your own data sets, have a GitHub account, especially I'd say, so that, it would go better for your CV, so that the company, mostly you're going to check that your knowledge, there are going to be 3 rounds to get a job in here. Mostly going to be first of your introductory part. So how you are, your communication skills, make sure that they are strong. Second one going to be technical. And the third would be mostly with the CEOs of the company. So the process is kind of different from what we have in India, because mostly I've seen in India, it's just the first round. It's the strong technical skill will not be tested until and unless you have got the job. So it's going to be under the training test. But here, the thing is that they're going to ask you to share your screen. They're going to give you the data set on the spot and you have to analyze it. So from starting with everything. So you make sure that you're prepared for these kind of challenges that you're going to get. Make sure your CV is going to look as good as with experience, with education, relevant to this field, even if it's more related to computer science. I'm coming from a computer science background. I had more experience in Java, Python, C, PPP, which I'm not, sorry, Python. Python was not the language that I had, but the other languages, they helped me, because then Python became way easier to understand. And they could see that, I have relevant experience because I know the languages. So it's not very difficult for me to work on one and get the data set and get the prediction as per their needs. So it really does help if you have anything that's relevant, put it in the experience, I would say. People do not do that. They just put it in the education background. The education, unfortunately, in UK doesn't matter much. If I hadn't had my degree, even of master's, and I have relevant experience for 2 to 3 years in data science, I would have get the job like that. So
okay.
Yeah, experience does matters, and all the best for everyone. Because I think with the they're gonna have the sponsorship. For me, we need the sponsorship, for company to hire us. Now that issue has been resolved, so you're going to have a lot of competition for you, because the company did not have to sponsor you anymore. So you are actually, one way I would say that it's actually one step easy for you, but it's just going to be a lot of competition in the market. So just make sure that you're the best.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, I think that's very good. And yeah, obviously putting the experience in CV really matters. And I think IT Talent Hub point of view, I also personally have asked a lot of people to, put some relevant experience, which will stand out. So thanks very much. And yeah, please stay. I think there'll be a lot of questions, because the way that you're telling the people have questions, but we'll keep the questions as the last. Okay, and we will have questions in the last, guys, so that you all can stay long and then you get clarified. Okay, thank you, Harsha. Harshada, please keep there, and we'll come back to you very soon. Okay, thank you very much. So guys, it is time for me to quickly go. I know Bhuvanesh Tripathi, the senior data scientist, is waiting on the line to share his wonderful knowledge on machine learning models. But before that, let me put some spices on top of this particular data science, which is nothing but talking about testing. Okay, so I will be discussing about how to test this data science projects. And then after that, Bhuvanesh will give them some insight in the machine learning models, which is very interesting. After that, we'll have a lot of time for interview questions. Sorry, for the question answers. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Let me start myself. Yeah, I think this is my boring slide, which I already done. So this is me, guys. So I'll be discussing about. I know. I think. She had gone through a lot of topics about data science, but I will just take one step back, and I will discuss about what is the different types of steps on data science project. Again, I am not as experienced as other people, but from a testing point of view and development point of view, I will try to see the projects, how it goes, and I will tell you what kind of tests can be done on the data science projects, and what kind of tests can be done on the outcome of the project. Okay, which is very interesting. People will think data science means unpredictability. Okay, absolutely, but testing is about testing the predictability. But how we can test the unpredictable things is what very interesting here. Okay, guys, are you all ready? Raise their hands who are ready. Put some gesture. Yes, only one. Okay, come on, guys. Yeah, put any gesture. Okay, yes. You can put your video on, off, except mic, you can do anything. Okay, yes. Anybody else? I can see a lot of hands not up. Okay, come on, guys. Only 8 reactions. Come on, we got 59 people in the group. 10. Come on, let's do some data science. Okay, 12, 13, come on, 14. 14, come on, I would need more data. Come on, guys, more data, more tests I can do. I am predicting at least 50 plus responses. Okay, come on, guys, do something. Go to your Zoom and do some reaction. Okay, do anything, just like thumbs up, thumbs down. 14 hands up, only one. Okay, so come on, guys, come on. We're running out of time. Come on, you guys can do it. Any gesture will help. Okay, 16. Come on, guys. Okay, I think one thing is this Zoom is taking the reaction soon out, I think. Okay, so few more seconds. Come on, response, few more people. Okay, Punita, Ravi, Rashmi, come on, guys, you can do it. Any response, any reaction on your okay, Zoom. Okay, so you can just do it. Perfect. Okay, thank you, guys. Let's start. Okay, so what is this questions? Yes, this question is nothing but, before I started this, my question is, I think maybe now let me ask this question. How many of you people know what is data science? Okay, raise their hands. Maybe that will increase this thing. How many people know data science? Okay, next. How many of you know machine learning? Guys, how many of you know machine learning? Just, you don't know to be expert. Okay, a few people know machine learning. Very nice. How many people of you know how to test this data science project? I think the only person, me, I think maybe I'm the only person, but maybe other people. Okay, but yeah, definitely I know how to test it. So I'm predicting 40% of the people know data science. Yes, I can see the response. Many of the people had done hands up. on data science, machine learning to 30%, and only data science, testing data is only 10% people know. So that is the good prediction. So I predicted this, and it became true. It's actually, this is how it worked. Okay. So that means that this is how we test the data science project. We predict the future, okay, by using a different approach. Definitely our data science project will give an approach, but if we able to predict the outcome using a different approach, okay, that approach is nothing but what I will discuss. But if you predict the outcome of a machine learning model, obviously it is very hard to predict. But if you do some using some techniques, if you can predict, which is the way that I thought, with my experience of doing 10 years of training and hundreds of what you called this kind of meetups, I came to know that 40% will respond for first question, 30% will respond for first question, 10% will respond for third question. And it exactly happened. So that means that am I a good data science tester? Yes or no? Reactions? Yes. So I predicted my using my neural network, as Harshada said, your brain is also like a neural network. So using my neural network, I predicted. And then the actual thing happened like that. Okay. So that is how the data science works, guys. Okay. So now that is how it works. So that is how we test. Okay, just like a trailer. Okay. Now let us go in detail. What is data science? Okay, in nothing but, as we said, as Harshada said, predicting. So they had predicted that cyclone will come. I am predicted that 40% people will raise their hand. So predicting and means nothing but we are able to see the future of something and then take a decision is data science. So while doing the prediction models, what are the steps? So if you take the steps in a typical organization, how they will actually do these data science projects. So I think definitely the first thing is the problem statement. It's like business requirements in software testing lifecycle, software development lifecycle. So in a software development lifecycle, we will have a business requirement. I think many of you know that any software development works like, okay, example, I'm developing an app to create an app to what you call hire the people. So that is nothing but a business requirement. So you got a requirement that can fulfill. So that's a requirement. So like that, in data science also, there will be a problem statement. That's the first stage of data science project. The second thing is, once we know that this is what we are predicting, example, cyclone, or it is predicting a cloud, or it's predicting your job. Maybe there is a thing that how many of because of the post-pandemic, how many of people will be hired for the next 3 months? Example, that's it. That's like a problem statement. So if government want to see how the employability is increasing over the period of 6 months, first thing they will do is they want to predict, so that they can actually think if it is less than 10%, they want to increase the employability, so that they had started giving more grants like apprenticeship, kickstarters. They give a lot of money to the businesses so that business will happy to hire. So to actually take that number, that how many people will be hired without the grant and how many people will be hired with the grant, that is again the problem statement. So that is where that kind of things is what it starts. And now, once we had the problem statement, then they will go to the people like Harshada and Bonesh Tripathi, and they will say that, the guys, this is what I need to do for UK government. The project is we need to create the employability of the people of post COVID. Now, what will happen is, then the first thing that will happen is, to do anything, we need to have data. Okay, without data science is nothing. So we need to have data. Why these kind of projects have been not there in the future, in the past? Because in the past it's not digitalized. Example, you take 20 years back, we haven't had that kind of data because we are still at the early stage of digitalization. Example, you take Sainsbury's, we used to have a normal tills. We don't have a smart checkout. We don't have a mobile app. We don't have a what you call e-com, Sainsbury e-com. and we don't have anything like a very advanced kind of a tools, like, you know, all this accumulating the whole what do you call the different data from different stores or different stores. We don't have that one place. We used to have a simple till, and the till will have a bar. I mean, like, it is a barcode. Every store is different, and we need to put the prices for every store. And we used to have like old systems like POS systems, which a lot of, you know, old shops will use use. So we used to have a simple POS systems in like 20 years back. Okay, then what happens now? At that time, creating a data science project is impossible. But now what happened? Because we have a lot of data that we now can predict the sales, or we can predict everything. Example, take Sainsbury's. We got a lot of customer data that what person had bought at what time. Example, it is winter. It is a common sense, but however, we know that in winter, what are the products which will go, and if it is raining, what are the products it will go. Lot of things. Okay, so like that we can actually do. Now the data is the second thing. So once we got that, we need to collect the data. Means we need to identify different sources where the data is coming from, and we need to then start looking into the different sources. It can be SQL, it can be mainframes. I know that's a hard bit, but mainframes is the legacy. So we have a lot of mainframe systems. We got APIs, we got CSV files, we got SQL databases. That's the reason why you need to know a lot of SQLs and stuff. So you need to know the things. So we need to collect the data. Once we collect the data, the third and the important part here is that that's got the most complex part and challenging part as well. As Sanchita said, we need to clean the data. It's not about cleaning just one Excel file, but millions of records, and the records will have multiple columns, and the columns may have multiple junk data. Okay, so cleaning the data is the most important part. That is where the programming will be very much handy. Okay, you can ask what is handy. Programming. Python is very handy when you deal with cleaning the data, because it can have a lot of functions with it. Python is like the best programming language because it is more of an assembly language. It can be very friendly to the hardware. And second thing is it handles the lot of data. Why people are using mostly Python, not Java? Because Java it is a kind of interpreter language. It needs a JVM, and it can't take that much of a hit because it cannot directly talk to your core kernel layer. But if you take Python, it is like almost C++. It go to the hardware, and it can help you to run the things very smoothly. So we use Python which can handle the data, and it can work very nicely. Okay. Now, once the cleaning is done, then the next part is data analysis. Okay. So doesn't mean that all the projects in the UK are being on data science, guys. There are a lot of data analysis projects because they may want to analyze the data. Okay, it's not about prediction. Maybe I think NHS and I can see few organizations are trying to explore the data and trying to analyze the data using a lot of tools. Okay, so the typical tools to analyze the data, it can be you could do in Python, or you can do in Jupyter, and you can do in Power BI. You can use in Tableau. So all these things are the main which can help you to analyze the data, create multiple dashboards, go insights of it, and try to identify any kind of insights which can help for the decision making of the company. Okay, it's not about prediction but analysis. So human brain can see that data and they can analyze. Okay, example the same. If you take the sales thing, if you see my sales of last 2 years, I would be able to see in winter which product is going on. So I don't need a prediction. I can use my common sense. Okay, so example, if you take chilled beer. So chilled beer it will definitely, in few months in summer it will go. It's common sense. But if you see the actual data, I can take some insights. Okay, so outside London, inside London, this is the thing. So I can use that, and I can straight away order into the Sainsbury order management system that I need like for 200, 500 cartons of beers in central London, this location. So that is a simple thing. But to get into that, we need to do analysis. But the prediction is not done. It is just a analysis. But however, the next important topic here is modeling the data. This is where the building the models. So the next part of this is if a company want to go ahead, an example, Sainsbury don't want to just analyze, but it wants the system to tell, automatically it want to link the whole order management system, not the human brain. Take the human brain out of it. Let us make a prediction using a model, a data science machine learning model, which can automatically go and what you call do the modeling. Okay, which it will automatically go and order. Instead of you doing, the order will come. So there is no human being here. Straight away, the stores will get a truck with the hundreds of this one. Okay, so that is how the modeling happens. Finally, once the data model is built, and the final thing is deployment and optimization. Okay, so here this is a small space here. This is where the testing happens, guys. I'm telling. Let me come to that stage. But normally, typical life cycle is like this, where you can see that data science point of view. You start with business requirement, data collection, data cleaning, exploring data modeling. This is the gap. Okay, data validation. That's where the testing will come into picture. Okay, so once we build the model, that doesn't mean that model is 100%. Even human can do a mistake, and machine can do more mistakes. Okay, until unless it is perfect. So once the development of this model is happening, there may be a place where the world is not yet explored, but this is the place where the testers will come into picture. So testers can be very much in the future. I'm telling the next 2 to 3 years, guys, you will have a lot of jobs talking about data science testers or data engineering testers, or so not ETL, but data testers. Okay, or testers who can test the data model. So those kind of roles can come. Okay, and that is where you can fit. So okay, so for this to happen, how to test it? Yeah, that's fine, sir. I mean, yeah, you are very good. You said that you can test it. So let us take an example. Okay, so example you take if you take in project, as I said, right, take Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's have 4,000 stores all over the UK. And now if they want to do a data modeling, the first thing that they do is they have to take a data. You can see that this is one data that they can take, where it's nothing but it will give a weekly sales. So for an example, in Sainsbury's, there is one data set which is nothing but predicting a weekly sales. Next, but that's not at all enough for them to predict. There may be some more variables. So people like, the data scientists, what they'll do is they will go and analyze any other data sources. So here see that this one more data size, it looked the same, but it got some markdown values and some customer price index, and they also have employment. So it got some additional variables. And finally, it got some holidays also. So using this set of data, that set of data, that will be the input. And now what is the outcome of that? The outcome of that project should be, we should be able to see the sales and see what are the factors which can affect the sales. Okay, so example, if you take this model, you got a data, you got one more data, but we should be able to predict the what kind of things can affect the sales. Is it rains, or is it unemployability? Is it not available? Example, there is no employees, then the sales will go. So there is something related to that. So these kind of things may be very helpful. So now we take that kind of problem statement and data. Now there is a kind of a testing that is also can be done. So now the testing bit comes. So example, yes, we got a project in Sainsbury's, but if you want to test these models, we can't use a regular approach of software testing. Okay, this is the difference between typical software testing, where we got data. A typical software testing, what happens? You got a data, you got application. Example, you're working on app which will do a booking of your flights. So the logic is simple. You provide your flight information, passenger information based on your destination. the application will provide a logic that it will give you a right flight information based on availability. And then what the software will do, you got a logic, it will show you that the outcome of that is you got 2 flights. So you can, that is what expected value. But when you come to the actual, what do you call the data science testing, it's different. What happens here is, we know that, yes, we have data, and we know that we should always have 2 to 3 flights should come, but we don't know the logic, because that is where the model is building. How you are able to predict the flights in future is what the data science. And for them, there's no logic, because there's no logic that is already been done. This logic is being what we have to generate. So the data science project point of view, you have to generate the logic, but you got the desired behavior. But for software testing, normal to software testing, you got the logic, but you have to test the desired behavior. Okay. So now coming to the different levels of testing that we can do. First thing is, yes, as I said, model building is the important part. But however, before model building also, we can do 3 levels of test. Definitely, as I said, if it's a Python programming, we can perform unit testing and we can perform an integration testing. But mostly in data science testing, the first important part of that will be testing your ETL, means nothing but you are testing your extract, transport, transformation, and load. So testing that whether the data is coming through us properly. So it is like a ETL testing is the mandatory thing that you have to do in data science testing before the model is building. So at the level of data cleaning, at the rate of what is called data analysis, we can use this testing technique tools. But now once the model is built, which is the second half of the whole scenario. So once the model is built, okay, so once the model is built, you can see here, this is the orange boxes. Once the model is built, and once the model is built, which have to be trained by using a lot of data. So model building is not the outcome. We need to, it should be trained, as Sanchita said. So training is one of the important part. However, testing the actual model, that yes, is this a model, right model or not, is what the responsibility of a tester in the future. Right now also people are doing it. Example, AstraZeneca, it got a lot of projects, lot of data projects they're doing, but they're actually trying to figure out how to test the models. So this is where you come into picture, where once the model is built and trained, you have to test it. Okay, so and then that when you keep on testing it, it's like typical software testing. You find more bugs, the efficiency of the application will work. So you have to test it. So now if I put the figure in a different way, this is the most important presentation, guys. Have a look. How we test is like this. You got a model that you want to test, but what we have to do is, this is the, I think this is the model machine learning algorithm is what Mr. Bonesh will tell in few minutes. This is where the machine learning models will be built, but he will tell what kind of models are available, how they build it. But this is like a software development. So I'm not talking about this part, the middle part. What I will be talking right now is about this. So how to test that is very, very, very important, guys. As a tester, what I will do for testing this data science models is, first of all, I will create a subset of the test data. So I will create a subset of test data, which is nothing but I will take all the possible data. I won't put million records, but I will put only 100 records in my Excel sheet or CSV file. Make a test data which covers almost all the scenarios, like all these edge cases, like you have some unclean data, you got example sales going 200% high on the day, maybe because there was a flood, something like this. Maybe I will create that the umbrellas will go 200. Normally number umbrellas go, but think that on a day it's a heavy rain, almost like 8 hours, which is unpredictable. In that day there may be 200 what I call umbrellas. So I'll put that kind of data and a normal data and a zero data where there's a dry day. I'll create all this test data. Okay, but that's not real data, but it's my test data. Okay, as a tester, I know how to create the test data. I'll create that data, then use that data to train my algorithm. So the model is built, but I will not put a real data to train it. I'll put my predicted data to train it. Okay, which is very, I mean, nice, because I know that I'm controlling it. So I'm controlling the model, and I will then go ahead, and what I will do, I will complete my test part. So model is built. Now I will put a real data, and then I will predict it. But here, see here, I'll put my test data, build the model, and then create the real data, and then I will get the prediction. So what is this prediction? The prediction is something which I'm expecting that, okay, so I'm expecting that my model should give a specific set of data, or means it will give an outcome. It is saying that this is a prediction. So in 2024, March 28, you need to have this many umbrellas on yourself. But here, because I am giving a trained data first and then the real data, I would expect that I will get 20 umbrellas on March 24th is my outcome for the store in Central London. So I will expect that 20 is my outcome. So this is my test. This is the outcome data. Because I am using my test data, I am expecting 24. So my expected value is 24. Now, if my model is giving a 24 or 25 or 26, I'm okay. But after putting a real data, I am getting a something like a 5 umbrellas. Then is that correct or wrong? If I give 5 umbrellas, if I'm getting a 5 umbrellas out of this model, after I train it, then there is a bug. Means, yes, it is too much. It is not, there may be something, maybe in the real data, the data is not cleaned, or there's some problem with your model. So I can say the test is failed. Then again, I can go to the data scientist and he will say, oh no, this is not right. Now he will try to build the model again. Then I will see if I'm getting 20. If we're getting 20, it's okay. But again, we have to go one more round. If he's getting 40 umbrellas, again, there's a problem. But if it's coming to 24, 25, 26, till it come to that range, I will keep on running it. Once it is near to that, then I can say that model is successful. Because right now what is happening, prediction is going and they're actually giving to the business, but business will they'll use it, and it is a problem because it's not, the model is not wrong, model is wrong. But if you're putting testing element on top of that, then 100% we can have a quality prediction or quality model where we're adding quality to data science. And finally, we should be able to give a go. So till we are happy with this expected prediction, we have to keep on testing it. Okay, that is how we test it. Okay, so how do we test it? We actually use a lot of techniques, like, again, the testing can be done by yes, we can put a lot of data accuracy, or we can even increase the volume. Maybe we'll put some hundreds and thousands of data to increase and see the model is building. It is not only just putting the data here. I will put as expected behavior and put a lot of data and want to increase the volume to see the performance. Okay, and also not only one model, guys. Don't use one model. Maybe I think Bonesh will tell right now what kind of models that we can build. But it is not only one. It can be regression model. It can be random forest, or any kind of model that you take that can be tested. So you take a model, you put the test data and get the model outcome out of it. Then they will do the rest of it. So any model, any data science project in the world, which can be tested if you are able to train that with a controlled way, as if like you are putting your kid. Example, if you put your kid in a school, what happens? They have assessment. What is the meaning of assessment? It's like a test. So they're learning, but you know that at year 4, this is what he's expected to do. If he is not giving a right answer, example, multiplication of a table, like for example, say 12 into 12, you know that the answer is 24. So, sorry, 144. However, if your kid is doing 100, he's he's not at all learning. If he's near to 143, he's almost there. So like that, think like a kid, and we're like teaching a kid. So, and we are teaching it, but how do we test that the learning is done? By giving him lot of expected outcome. We give the challenges and we expect that it should be done. Okay, he may learn a lot of things in his classroom throughout the year, but one single question is what I can say that he's studied or not. That's the assessment or the examinations at the end of the year. Okay, so that way, if you are able to give the specific test data and expect that the outcome, and we then put a real data, then if the outcome is near to the test data, we are fine. If it is not, then it is wrong. Okay, that's how we test, guys, and that's it. Okay, I know it is very boring thing, but I mean, if you take things long, but this is the main thing, guys. You can take a screenshot or picture, whatever it is. The future is this. If to get into this level, you need to know a little bit of ETL stuff. It's not a rocket science, but if you know ETL and databases and all, you should be able to become a good tester. Even you are a data scientist also, you also will have to test your own models. So for both data scientists and testers also, this will be very helpful. Okay, guys. I'm done with my thing. So can we go to Bonish? And then we will have a question and answer session very soon, guys. I know you may have a lot of questions, but I am happy to answer your questions very, very patiently. But let us go to Bonish. Bonish, because now everybody are thinking about data models. Can you show us like nice machine learning models?
Sure, Shriram. So thank you, Shriram and Harshada, for the detailed explanation of how you can test machine learning projects and how data science project basically can be tested. And now I'll be taking you all through the few concepts of machine learning, how projects are made and how you can run them and what are the challenges that you may encounter during the journey. Okay, so you all ready? I'm audible enough?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be sharing my screen and yeah. So this is about, okay, so this is about me. I'm an MBA in data science and I have over 5.5 years of experience in the field. And basically I started my journey as a data analyst and then slowly and gradually I moved in data science. So everything is data science only, but more like from last 3 years, I've been most of the time involved in building end-to-end machine learning models and doing all that stuff. So like I have prior experience in retail, BFSI and travel domains also. And I love teaching, building ML and AI solutions and cricket, obviously. So this is a short description about me. So before moving towards what machine learning is, okay, let's see what learning is basically. Okay, so learning is any process by which a system improves performance from an experience. Okay, so this is a nice quote from Herbert Simon. Okay, so if you're learning something, so how we can measure that? If your performance is improving over the time with an experience, a small example can be like this. Just assume there is a small child, right? He touches a hot glass for the first time, right? So what happens? He may cry, right? He may he may throw tantrums, right? But what happens is through this experience, he learns something, right? That if something is hot, I don't have to touch it, right? It may harm me, right? So this is what the experience is and something he might have learned from this experience, right? So this is what learning is. Now, what is this machine learning, right? So it is nothing but just a computer program. So this small definition which is given by Tom M. Mitchell in 90s, okay, where he said that a computer program is said to learn from some experiences E with respect to the classes of task T, and there will be a performance measure called P. And if its performance at task T as measured by P improves with his experience E, right? So what does this complex statement mean, right? So a simple example, I'll talk about it maybe in the coming slides. Okay, so we'll see what is a task, what is a performance, how experiences basically works. Okay, so machine learning is nothing just a field of computer science, which is also referred to as a predictive analytics or predictive modeling. You might have heard this term several times in various articles, various, if you are appearing for some job interviews, so you might have heard of these terms in their job descriptions, right? Now, what is the objective of doing machine learning, right? So it is to basically discover patterns in the user's data, right? And then try to make predictions based on these intricate patterns for answering some business questions, right? So to do the objective of doing all these things is you might be having some problem, you might be having some data. Now, by using that data, you have to solve that problem. Okay, maybe it's not always for prediction. Okay, it can be for analysis. It can be just to analyze the patterns. What are the hidden patterns to it? Okay, so this is the objective of a machine learning project. Okay. Okay. Now we'll see into the more details like how machine learning actually works, right? On the left hand side, if you see there is a computer, right? And so this is a traditional system, okay, where you have the data, you have the rule, right? And based using that rule, you get some answers, right? For example, here, if I have x equal to 1 and the rule says that y is equals to x into 2, right? So obviously the output will be 2, y is equals to 2. And simultaneously, if you change the values of x, your output will change, right? But in case of machine learning, we change the approach altogether, basically. So on the right hand side, if you see, what do you have? You have the data, you have the answers, but you don't have that mapping equation. Okay. If you see here, like if your answer is 2 and your input was 1, so obviously the output is 2 times of the input, right? So this logic has to be figured out by a machine learning model or the system that you have. Okay, this is machine learning in plain English. Okay, so machine learning or the machine, or by using some algorithms, it has to figure out those equations. What will be those mapping functions? Okay, so those mapping functions will be the rules that will be figured out by the machine. Any questions so far? Okay, let's move ahead. Now, when we say machine learning, data science, deep learning, right? So there must be something where like you have to identify the cases where you can apply machine learning, right? You can't use machine learning everywhere, right? Because for example, if you have to calculate the salary of a person, right? So what you have to do, you just have to take how many days he have worked, right? What is his basic salary and a basic calculation, and you can just calculate his salary at the end of the month, right? So in this case, you don't need a machine learning algorithm, or you don't need to build a machine learning application here, right? So you have to understand on what scenarios you can apply machine learning. Okay, so basically I'll be talking about 4 scenarios where you can apply machine learning. Okay, so basically a case 1 where you can see there is a Mars rover, right? So in the case 1, if the human expertise does not exist at all, right? You can't go to Mars at this point in time, okay, to analyze the texture, to analyze the soil, to analyze the environment over there, right? So you need someone on your behalf to analyze everything, right? So for that, we build a machine learning solution, which we basically deploy it in a machine basically at the end, which does the same thing for us, right? Now comes a case 2, right, where humans can't explain their expertise, right? Maybe there are 2 sound waves coming together, right? And you have to identify like, okay, which sound belongs to which person, right? So in those cases, the data becomes too complex to analyze, right? So for those scenarios, you need machine learning. A third scenario is where models need to be customized. For example, in the recent scenarios where you have seen, like, you have to get the vaccine for COVID-19 very quickly, right? So it is not humanly possible to get this done, right? You might have heard of articles that like it is not possible to come up with a vaccine in less than 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, right? So with the help of technology, with the help of machine learning, we can do that, right? We had come up with a vaccine that is more powerful, and we have shown what technology can do, right? Similarly, this is a case for, or the other scenario where data becomes too huge to process, to come up with a relation, to come up with analysis, right? So for those scenarios, you need a machine learning model or an algorithm or a system. Okay, so these are 4 scenarios. Okay, now okay, so this is about how you can apply. Now, what kind of learnings are available, right? You know machine learning, right? But what is a machine learning then? Okay, there must be different type of learnings available to the machine, right? Because there are different kind of data, so obviously you must have different types of learning, right? So basically we divide them into two categories broadly. Okay, so one is supervised learning, other is the unsupervised learning. Okay, there are 2 other learnings as well, like semi-supervised learning, reinforcement learning. Okay, but broadly we discuss these 2 today. Okay, so in case of a supervised learning, as you know, you can see a person is standing beside the machine, right? So he is telling the machine that, okay, yes, you are doing something right, maybe you are doing something wrong, right? So a supervisor is available to the machine, which is constantly telling him that, okay, he's constantly providing the feedback to the machine that yes, you are doing right or you are doing something wrong. Okay, so that's why we say supervised learning uses both input and output to build the models. Okay, and there are 2 different types of there are 2 different types of algorithms or the cases present for supervised learning. So one is the regression, other is the classification. Okay, we'll discuss them in detail in the coming slides. Now comes the unsupervised learning, right? So unsupervised learning means here you can see the machine is not able to figure out what is actually happening here, right? So a supervisor is not present in this case, right? Machine has to figure out the rules by itself. Okay, it has to group, it has to figure out the pattern, it has to maybe identify the images, anything. Okay, just by itself. Okay, so that's why we say it has to group and interpret data based only on the inputs. Okay, and there are 2 things again in there are 2 types of situation can arise. So one is clustering, other is the association. Okay, so we'll talk about them in the coming slides. Okay. Okay, so let's discuss what supervised learning is. Okay, so first we have seen there are 2 types. One is regression, other was the classification, right? So given there are some data points or the scenarios you have, right? So what regression does? Regression is nothing but, again, it's a function. It has to figure out the effects based on the data point that we have. Okay, we can have x's, we can have y's. Okay, and you have to come up with a function that does the job. Okay, and here in this case, in case of a regression, y always has to be a real valued number. Okay, so an example of a use case for regression can be a stock price prediction. Okay, you have few inputs. Inputs can be like closing price, any external inputs like if government has announced some policies, or what is the day-to-day, okay, or what is the last price it had, right? So these are the input features that we have, and based on that you have to predict the stock price. Okay, so you have the historical prices. Now based on that you have to analyze and predict and come up with a stock price which is going to be. Okay, so this is a simple regression. Okay, the only thing that you have to remember is, in case of a regression, y always has to be a real value number. Okay. Okay. Now, what happens in case of a classification? Simple classification, like you have 2 categories, 3 categories, or n number of categories, and you have to divide data into those categories. A simple example can be of an email filter, where you have to filter the emails as a spam or not spam, right? And just see this. Y is categorical in this case. Okay, so simple differentiation here can be, if Y is real valued, it will be, the problem will be regression. If Y is categorical, it has to be classification. Okay, the values can be 0, 1, yes, no, cat, dog. Like you are given with 2 images and you have to tell whether the image belongs to a cat or a dog, right? So you just have 2 options, and from these 2 options you have to come up with the best value. Okay, is this clear? Any questions so far? Okay, let's move ahead. Now let's see what supervised learning is. Okay, so as we discussed, in case of unsupervised learning, you don't have a supervisor, you don't have the target variable at all, right? You just have the inputs. Okay, you don't know like what the output look like. Okay, but you have this objective. Okay, so in case of clustering, if you just see, okay, given the data points access, you don't have Y's in this case. You just have those inputs as access. These are all independent features. Okay, and you have to output the hidden structures behind these inputs. Okay, for example, there are 60 people in this room, right? Now let's say we have to figure out like what are the common like let's say you have to distribute people based on their shopping habits, right? Or the behavior of people, right? So in this case, we have to analyze the data. You don't have the target variable. Okay, you'll cluster the people based on their some attributes that we have, and then we may come up with like, okay, there are 3 clusters or 4 clusters of people we are forming, or we are coming up out of this data which are similar in nature. Okay, so that's how clustering works. Okay, and simple like example use cases can be like identification of market segments, identification of customers, right? And that's how the targeted campaigns work. Okay, people identify those unique set of people, and then they launch some campaigns to attract customers. Okay, another use case can be a social network analysis. Okay, where you have to identify similar group of people. Okay, so these are few examples of clustering. Okay, now let's discuss. You have built the model. Okay, now how to evaluate those models. Okay, so Shriram and Harshada has already talked about various techniques using which you can validate these models. Okay, so in short, if you look at the picture at the left, you will see that, okay, we have some training set, then we have some validation set. Okay, then you have to tweak the model based on the result that you get from the validation set, and then pick the best model and confirm the test. Now what basically happens is you have generated the prediction. Okay, you have built the model, but who knows what or how the model is actually performing, right? So to test or evaluate those models, you have to take out unseen data. Okay, you have to come up with some unseen data which model has not seen so far, right? And this is called a validation set. Now we try to come up with a prediction on those unseen data. Then we see how the model has performed. Okay, maybe model can perform 100% accurate, right? And it can be 80%, 50% accurate, right? So based on the performance of the model, we try to tweak the model then. Okay, we have to do the same thing again. We have to retrain the model the data, and we do some slight tweaking in those hyperparameters or something. Okay, and then we come up with a better model, right? So it's an iterative process. We have to keep on doing things, right? And that is again one of the disadvantages of ML, right? So we'll discuss what are the disadvantages. But cross validation is again one of the techniques, right? So in cross validation, you divide the data in smaller chunks, and then you train the data on these chunks and come up with the best model, right? Apart from that, you also have few metrics, right? So accuracy, right? Accuracy is the most talked about metrics in machine learning industry, right? So apart from accuracy, we have precision, recall, loss, and confusion metrics, right? So we in our course at IT Talenta, we discuss all these matrices in detail. So yeah, so this is about evaluating your ML models, right? Now in industry, how basically the ML projects run, right? So Sriram has given a very detailed explanation, right? So I'll just go through the things again, just to reiterate. So basically, to run an ML project, right, you must have some prior domain knowledge, right? And understanding of how variables are, what are the input features, and how features can, what are the important features, right? Basically, right? And what are your goals? Okay, what do you want to optimize? Okay, so understanding of all these things are very necessary before building any machine learning project, right? Now, once you have these things, then you start with the data integration, selection, cleaning, etc. Okay, because why integration? Because data can be at multiple places, and you may need to integrate them. Okay, and then create a single file, and then you can build your model on top of that, right? Now, once your data part is sorted, you build your models, you train the models. Okay, there are a lot of services available these days. You can use any technology, be it cloud, be it local, you can use Python, you can use Azure, AWS, and number of services available these days. Okay, so based on your requirements, based on your budget, you can go to them. Okay. Now, once your model are built, okay, you have to interpret the results, right? Because not every model will be good, right? So you have to test them as well, right? So that's where Sriram and Harshada has given a lot of things around them, right? So that's where testing part comes. Now, once your model has been tested, you have the results, right? So the next step would be the deployment, right? You will deploy the model for the clients, right? And obviously with time, you have to monitor the model as well, right? You have to understand how the model is performing with time, with new data set coming, right? So this is how a standard ML project run. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, let's discuss about, let's see some real life applications of ML, right? So you might be using all these services in your daily life. Okay, so first thing is product recommendations, right? You know, like e-commerce applications using these technology heavily from long back, right? So they track your search history and recommend ads based on it, right? So that the engagement can be improved, their sales can be improved. Okay, and for it's a matter of fact that 35% of the Amazon's revenue is coming out of product recommendations. Okay, so this is the advantage of, or you can say a real life application of machine learning. Then you might be using these services in your daily life, right? So virtual personal assistants, right? Like Alexa, you have Google Assistant, you might have Siri, right? So like they assist in finding useful information from a mobile, or if you just have to call someone, you just have to say, okay, Siri, call Sriram, simply. Okay, so that's how easy it makes, right? So at the back end, it uses speech recognition, speech to text conversion, natural language processing, text to speech conversion. So these are different technologies that these services use. Okay, and again, they are part of machine learning. Okay. Now, self-driving cars, they are the most talked about topic in machine learning, deep learning applications, right? So Tesla, you all know, okay, so they works on deep learning and it crowdsources data from all the vehicles and its drivers. Okay, so they basically they use all this data to navigate and come up with the safest speed, angle where they have to drive the car, etc. Right? And they use all their internal and external sensors, which are again part of IoT, right? So machine learning has a lot of application in IoT field. Okay. Now, apart from that, we have a lot of applications, although I haven't mentioned here, but you have dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing means fair pricing, right? If you see in case of airlines, right? So dynamic pricing is applied there, right? Fraud detection is again a very most widely used application. Okay. In case of travel, like Uber, Ola, they uses a lot of machine learning. Okay, so you can read about the use cases. Okay, yeah. Now, like obviously, machine learning has given a lot of benefits, right? It has a lot of applications, but obviously with advantages, we also have some disadvantages, right? So let's discuss them. So one of the issues is a sampling bias, right? So sampling bias has nothing to do with the model, right? It happens if your data collection is not correct, right? You might have heard of this case study of US elections, right? So they have did like they have not collected the right data and predicted something else, right? So that's where the sampling bias comes, right? If your data is not collected properly, your model is not going to give you good results. Okay, so there has been a saying, your model is as good as your data, right? And that's where the data quality again comes into the picture, right? If your data is too noisy, filled with unwanted information, right? So this can lead, this can mislead a machine learning model, right? And your model can give incorrect predictions, right? Then the other challenge is complexity and quality trade-off, right? So what is this? Basically, I have told you, like you have the machine learning model, right? You divide the data and then test it, right? So this is a very time-consuming process, right? There can be a need to like train the model for n number of times. You don't know, like if your luck is too good, right? You can get results very quickly, but this doesn't happens too often, right? So if the business requirements are uh, very neck to neck, right? So what happens is business expect a very fast response from the developers, from the data scientists, right? So giving a faster response can potentially give you less accurate outcomes, and vice versa, right? If you're faster in giving responses, you are, I would say, the results would not be so good. Okay, this is not always, but in most of the cases it happens. Okay, so this is one of the issues, or I would say disadvantages. Then comes the data and concept drift. What is this? Data drift is like, you can assume it like with some time, right? What happens is the data that is coming to the model changes over time, right? Maybe the salary of a person is like, let's say today it is 3 lakhs. With time it becomes 5 lakh. With time it becomes 10 lakhs, right? So with with data, the change in data, right? This is known as data drift, where your data has changed, right, with time, obviously. The other challenge is of a concept drift. Okay, concept drift means when the interpretation of data changes. For example, like in the during COVID-19, what has happened is most of the models in banking industry started to fail. Why? Because people has lost their jobs, like maybe they have lost their close ones, right? So there is a change in the behavior of people, like they have become too introvert in terms of spending, in terms of their spending habits, right? So that's how we say the concept drift has come up now. Okay, so two things: data drift and concept drift. Okay, so these are two major issues. Okay, so this is all from my side. Over to Sriram, and if you have any queries, feel free to reach out. Okay, so thank you, Sriram.
Okay. Oh, nice. So that is very, very nice, very interesting. I have been I personally learned a lot from that also. So it's very nice, guys, and really, really a nice presentation from you. Bhunesh. So guys, I think, yeah, I mean, the two things, one thing is, can you all please um, put the review of this? I mean, I know we will be jumping into the questions, plus Ibrahim or Vinod, can you guys put that review link here so that you guys can all leave a small review for us in Google for IT Talent Hub? Okay, so that it will help us to kind of do the similar things before you leave. We will have a question and answer session. So and then also I would request you people to connect me in LinkedIn, or you can always have my phone number. I mean, yeah, the details. You can always kind of you can reach me. So two things I would expect that. Please, can you all connect LinkedIn and give a Google feedback about this session before we start the question and answers. Okay. So okay, so I will paste the Google link in the chat, guys. Please don't forget. And yes, this is my contact details. You can take my details to a QR code, which you can always use it. Okay, so you can scan this. If you have phones and stuff, you can get my information. And please don't forget to, Ibi, do you have that Google thing? Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, so while doing this, can you put that in the chart? Okay, and then yes, guys, you can all start with the questions for me, Harshada, as well as Bhunesh, please. And one thing is, you are all very nice. This is the calmest and the quietest ever presentation I had seen. Thank you all for being on mute and really the well disciplined. More than 50 people without having a pin drop silence is a wonder. Thank you everyone for this. Okay, and you can ask your questions now.
Hi, this is Naveen Sriram. Hi. You talked about testing the data models, right? That approach,
Yeah.
whatever you're discussing, is it similar to, is it also called A/B testing? Because I just hear that term, but don't know much about it. So
yes, that's a good question. I used to do the A/B testing in my Eurostar career when I was working for Eurostar. So that's a digital application. Okay. So yes, the A/B testing is different. Okay, A/B testing is completely different. So A/B testing is like we actually get the analytics from the end user. So we use Google Analytics behind the screen, get the end users, and we can't predict, but we just take the data from the different screens by putting different variations to the end user and try to kind of see the behavior. So we use Google Analytics to know which variation is going good, and then take the best out of it for the further releases. So it is just gathering the data, but it don't have anything to do with the with this particular data science.
these models, okay, it's nothing to do with this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sriram,
Okay.
Krishna of this side. I would like to ask a few questions. Starting from, actually, you guys talked about testing and machine learning and ML, AL, and data science. But you guys talked about testing as well. But I've just wanted to know how you guys are, like, what are the frameworks you guys used? Like, what are the frameworks we have to use if in case in the future if I go with data science, and then even like I would like to know the requirements point of view. Like you talked about like problem statement is going to be the first starting point. That who gonna get these requirements as a product owner? That is one more question. Maybe if you want me to like stop and I can ask a few more questions. I got questions on how you define your model is successful, because you talked about real-time data and things. You don't have any data for last 12 13 years, and you talked about digitalization. Then if you don't have data, in that means you have to enter all the data manually. Then how we can define success criteria? So few things,
No.
please.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I will try to ask a few questions and I will come back to you, Krishna. Okay. Yeah. First thing is, yeah, I mean, data point of view, if you don't have a data, it doesn't mean that you have, correct me, Bhuvanesh and Harshada. So if there's no data, that doesn't mean that you can't do. You can actually get the data from different sources. Okay, so here now data is everywhere. Example, if you, I'm talking about example climate changes, or example you take climate, and if you take any kind of stock, you have a huge set of data, and you can actually get it from different sources. Like there are a lot of companies or a lot of sources where actually you can get the data using and there's a lot of ways. It's a free data. Nobody actually, there's nothing like a security breach, but you can get the data and use that data for your prediction. So if your company don't have a data, that doesn't mean that you have to, anyway you have to manually enter, means that's not right data. So I'm talking about the actual data, so you can get it from different sources. Okay, that is one thing. And the second thing is, if you ask me, right, how it works. So see here, this is a typical as example, I had got it for you. For example, Walmart is similar to Sainsbury's. So you can see here we got forecasting. So here, example, if you take here, the project will start from this is an example, this is a problem statement. Okay, it's nothing but we need to predict the forecasting using anomaly analysis. This is like a problem statement. Okay, and now here you can see that we got various levels of data. So you can see here we have baseline CSV. So we got different data. So we can get the data from different sources, keep it on somewhere, make it, see, we have got test data and train data as I discussed. So once you get the data, so 99% guys, the frameworks are nothing but mostly we use R language or Python. And if you see here, these guys are using Python and the simple steps. So this is what I think mostly people will write the Python coding. So it is like a typical Python project. If you go to any like IntelliJ and stuff, so sorry, PyCharm and stuff, you can see here, there's a lot of coding. So we use Python coding to build these models. And to execute it, we got tools like Jupyter Notebook and stuff. You can see here, they will help you to analyze the data, get some predictions and graphs and stuff. And slowly you can see that every step here is like a life cycle step. So slowly the data will be cleaned and we can build a model. And finally, you can see that at the end, the baseline modeling will be done. At this point, you can see that they're using some 2 different sets of data, and they're using nice, this is like regression model, which he said, this regression is a library. Straight away we can get it from the Python, and finally we do regression analysis, and finally we can use that matrix to get the predictions or regression analysis. So I'm not going depth, but this is how the actual data science project will be executed. Okay. I'll come up. Okay.
Thanks.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Sriram, I would like to add few things here.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Whose question was that?
Krishna.
Krishna. Okay. So Krishna, you had a very good point. Digitalization has happened in last 10 years, if I would say. Okay, roughly 10 years or maybe 15 years at best, right? So also you might have read few articles that most 90% of the data that we have today is generated around in last 5 or 6 years, right? So if you don't have enough data, right, so what basically happens is organization try to basically join hands with third-party services, right? So there are third-party organization which tries to basically they use the third-party data to marry the existing ones, okay, and then they try to come up with a bigger data set if you don't have enough data, right? So there are several third-party services available through which data can be married, and then we can come up with a larger data set, right? Then if you don't have enough data, right, so that's where the manual labeling or manual entry jobs comes into the picture, right? So if you go on any of the freelancing websites, right, or if you just type freelance those data entry projects, data labeling, data annotation projects, right? So in India, there are several organizations which offers these services, right? You just have to provide them your hard copies, maybe you have scanned pictures, right? So you just provide these pictures, they will enter the data maybe in a database or in a SQL file, in an Excel file, right? For deep learning, there are several organizations with just data annotation. Okay, there are several organizations with just data labeling work for Google, for Microsoft. Okay, so there are organizations which are also doing these things. Okay, so that's how people like solve these data problems. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification. And I just wanted to ask last final question, and I'm going to stop talking. Regarding CI/CD pipelines, how is this like, how it works actually, how the life cycle is going to be? Just wanted to know from like I just wanted to know. That's it.
Okay, CI/CD pipelines in terms of machine learning.
Yeah, entire this the data science project, from
Okay.
starting from the problem statement to the end release cycle point of view, how you will do your continuous integration testings, and how it will be. I'm talking about actually the frameworks, and even you don't have to do manual testing, right? So it's
Are you talking about automation?
yeah, it's just I'm talking about math automation and how you integrate your framework. What is exactly the framework? I'm still bit actually we're not using data science. I'm not
All right.
expert in that. We use different frameworks. I just wanted to know.
It's Python. Basically, it is Python program. We use PyTest, and we got maybe we can use Behave also as a for the tool. And basically, it's all Python. The tools around Python will be used for the testing purpose or test automation purpose, because it's all about Python. We use assertions, and it is about testing the code and testing. So what are the utilities there for the Python to build the models? The same utilities can be used for testing as well.
Okay, let me rephrase that particular question, what is asking, if I'm correctly. So basically what he was trying to ask was, is there any framework structure where the automation can help him so that the CI/CD pipeline can be used to create your models or test your data and deploy it to whatever the environments that we need? So do we have such kind of structured frameworks that's been defined in data science? Like similar to what we have in UI automation or API automation, what we see. Yeah.
I know, and I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as I know, in Sainsbury's, normally what we do is, I personally, I use a lot of Python libraries. In Python, there are a lot of libraries. I use them. Okay. Depends upon the context. So there are a lot of Python libraries, which depends. The example, if you are, we are actually, for an example, we have a Kafka utility, which will actually publish the whole predictions to a other third-party system. So we use Confluent Kafka, and Confluent Kafka have its own testing tools around it. So we use that. So it's like that. Whatever I know from my knowledge.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Okay. Yes, I think 4 people are waiting. Yeah, Pawan, Naveen, Naresh, Punita, you got questions? Okay. So guys, you got.
I have one question. Sorry.
Yeah.
You did mention that you're going to use ETL processes to extract the data and then the cleanup and all. So this goes with the structured data. So if you want to try to build models on an unstructured data where there is no modeling defined for that particular data, how do we do it in data science? Or the projects that or the models? How do we build those models?
Bhunesh can tell that. It's a good question. Yeah, Bhunesh, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's a very good question. So like what basically happens is there are a lot of tools available these days, and if you don't want to use tools, right? So in Python you can build pipelines. Okay, so in pipelines you can give like, for example, let's say you have to build a text classifier. Okay, so we have unstructured data in this case, right? So we can write our own pipelines. Okay, and in those pipelines we can give multiple models. Okay, maybe a a simple TF-IDF model, and on top of that, you can add a logistic regression model to classify text. And if you don't if you just want to see multiple models, so in that pipeline, you have options to define multiple models. Okay. And in those models, in those pipelines, you can also write the logic to choose the best model out of all of them. And going forward, if one of the models is performing best, so you can use them, right? So this is in Python, you can build pipelines which does everything automatically. Okay, so sklearn provides a lot of capabilities in this, right? So you can write your pipelines using sklearn, and you can combine it with multiple libraries that are present in Python to achieve the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Naveen here again. I got a question like from IT Hub point of view, are you planning any upcoming course where I want to explicitly, if I want to go data science testing side, not like actual data scientist, where I can opt and go in this section? Are you any planning to bring in like the customized course?
Yeah, so good question. So basically right now we are running data science courses in IT Talent Hub, and Bhuvanesh is one of our trainer. So that is I mean, he will be able to explain them in detail about data science. We got these courses. We also have DevOps, software development and testing courses. But this is what we do. Okay, and if anybody is interested, please you can contact through our website, or you can contact me. I will leave my number. I can help you. And coming to your specific question, see, what we can do is, I mean, I think first fundamental thing is for you to do data science testing. There are two things. You should be good at ETL. You should be good at data science. Okay. So as a part of this data science course, Bhuvanesh will be teaching you the whole data science. I would say you complete data science. Okay. And then on top of that, we can give you a top of course, because I am very much doing data science testing. So in last few years. So specifically, once you complete data science, because that is the most critical part, because testers don't know that. So if you can complete data science course and come to me, then I can arrange a top-up course on top of that, which can help you to become a data science tester.
Kind of a not like long course, kind of a top-up short course for how to test and using those techniques, etc.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, but I would say, even I am also learning a lot from Bhuvanesh. So yeah, I mean, you complete data science course and you will really get to know the whole domain, because it's a new domain. It's not like APM or it's not like Cypress where it is do the similar thing. So we try to learn the syntax and get it. But data science, I'm telling you, is very, very nice. And I'm telling you, the future is about that. I mean, I would suggest, if you can see that Bhuvanesh himself is actually testing his own models. You know how to test it, and he's testing it. But tomorrow there may be roles where saying that, okay, guys, okay, very good. Now this more data science people. Let us put one QA for 4 data science people, so that QA can help all those 4 people to test their models. Because right now Bhuvanesh is taking like 30-40% of his effort to do the testing. So if a tester is there, then he can work more productively and he can reach the targets, and where tester will do his job. And he can also apply a lot of more techniques like unit testing and kind of other ETL techniques. So he can be early part of the state, and he can be very much helpful for all the 4 data scientists.
From which point of view I'm coming is, for example, if you say ETL tester, because the developer should know in depth of how to code and how to write everything. Like as a tester, he should know up to some extent, not fully.
Not fully, yeah.
So from that same point of view, if I will learn the full course, I don't want to become a data scientist like a developer. I want to know up to some extent where I can use my knowledge to test. So from that point of view, I'm asking whether if there in such customized course.
No. See, actually, I would say, I mean, I just said that, I mean, totally agree. But again, domain is something which you have to know. I mean, in future, maybe in future, we maybe have a course which is a lighter version of the data science and then testing.
Yeah, more
in future, we may have it, like the way do SDET. What is an SDET? It's a lighter version of a developer. So like that, we may have a lighter version of data science in the future. Okay, but right now we don't have a coach, but I can help you on the testing part. The Bhunesh can help on the data science part. And
Okay.
definitely, I think this is something which even in my conference, lot of people, testers are thinking, what next, because automation is almost stale. Too many tools are there. So automation testing is stale. Now, what is the next for testers? So now this is something I'm telling you, people don't, it's like a trend. So now, as you know, that data science is becoming like a next development. So testing will be really be very helpful. And it's not right now, but I'm telling next 6 to 8 months, once the COVID is over and the companies are more investing on more of these projects, then testing will again become a bottleneck. Then the people will scratch, okay, let us hire a tester. But nobody knows it. So if you are there, you can be a good, you will be very good. And for that, you don't need to be really do nothing. If you are, my point of view, any ETL testers in the group, you can easily be a data science tester.
So you have just one question in the same point from the someone is asking actually. Now someone need to do some course outside to join in your institute or is this there is no requirements to join in the course?
There's no requirement. Anybody can join. Any background can join this course.
Good. Thank you.
And anybody can join. But if you got somebody from a as Harshada said, if somebody got a background of from that particular background, definitely that will be very advantageous. But we will try to we will give as much as best as possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so guys, please review in the Google. Please review and hopefully put the good review for us. Really it helps. Okay, so that we can do a lot of similar things, and we always invest in future. Okay, so we got even DevOps is also, we got a course and we got a lot of things going on DevOps side as well, especially Terraform and Kubernetes and Docker becoming very complex. We also have similar, we're doing in future, but we want the motivation from you people by giving a reviews. Okay, cool. Okay, any other questions? I think Punita, Naresh, you got any questions? Thanks, Krishna. Any questions?
No,
yes.
Sriram, I will text you. I will get.
No problem, Punita, always. Okay. Naresh or anybody, guys, any silly question also you can ask. We got maybe 5 minutes. We can wrap it up. But I'm really open to how this is a very wonderful discussion. And please ask any question, maybe small or big, or maybe career oriented or the courses oriented. Anything you can ask.
I would like to ask, how long the duration for this particular course? I know you need to, because I do see, like you mentioned, a lot of things. You need to understand Python, you need to understand ETL on this, and also you need to understand a prior experience of testing, what needs to be done. So if at all, with all this, or existing tester, if he wants to understand about the data science and then start doing this particular one, any specific duration that you think about the course and all this one?
Yeah, you can see here, we got this course. You can see it will take 2 to 3 months. If you go to a website, you all can see all the information. Okay, so you can see here, it's take 2 to 3 months time, and it is over 80 hours of training. So you can go through that. So it will take 2 to 3 months. But see, basically, we will cover almost very important parts. Okay, and then Python coding also we will cover. So we will cover mostly almost the most important parts. Okay, but we don't go into very depth into machine learning and stuff, but we will go into the high level, as we said, supervised and unsupervised learning. We will go through. Okay, so it is like 3 months course.
Okay, and how about the job opportunities? Like how good it is, like once you have this particular skills in hand. Because every time you just learn and you go outside, they ask for, like, do you have prior experience in any kind of tech skills or technology, what you have done? So
yeah.
how this would be handled, and what a person can expect, like immediately out of training, how much he can expect on this?
See, basically, experience is very important. Definitely, that is really, Harshada is bang on target. So definitely experience is required. Okay, but however, we will try to talk to you people one-to-one, see if you got, as he said, you may have some experience in the prior, you may do some kind of data analysis in the prior. Example, I got few students who done a lot of data analysis in ICICI Bank in India, and they have done a lot of data analysis, but they don't know that it is data analysis. They have done it, but after coming here, they thought, oh, is that the one? Okay, so like that, they may be, as Harshita said, you might have done something. So if you have any prior experience, if not, also you can talk to us. We will try to see even your education, and you may done some internships or apprenticeships somewhere. If you got anything, we will try to focus that in the CV and put some experience. But we will put an experience with experience, with more than 2+ or 3 years experience in experience. There are a lot of opportunities in UK, especially analysis side, because one thing I can say that even job market, and the companies are not very much keen on any specific thing, because it is it's a big. It's not like everybody use a lot of machine learning models. Some people use one, some people only analysis, some people will do kind of Power BI. So market is very fluctuated here and there. A lot of things are there. But I'm telling, if you are confident in one specific stack, complete stack, and then if you have one strong example, Power BI and Python, or Tableau, one thing you are very strong and put some experience, it will be definitely, there's a lot of opportunities. And also, when you are actually going to interviews, also you need that experience. You can't just be a theoretical, because it is something which is having experience. So especially our courses will be, especially Bonesh is actually making all the students to do a lot of projects. That is where the experience is coming. So we will help you to gain the experience, as well as a market point of the lot of opportunities, especially data analysis, data science, junior data scientist, and data analysis, data analyst jobs is what normally you people can target. You can't target like seniors, but you can start with junior data scientist or data analyst.
Thank you.
I have a question, Shriram.
Yeah, Ritin, yeah.
Do you have any of your own clients where you support them for the data science or data analysis projects, and where we people who have joined or who are going to join can get benefit working on those projects from your end, sort of, so that it's a mutually complementing, so that
understood.
Yeah. So will there be any sort of things already there in place, or maybe?
Actually, we got client's point of view. We keep getting requirements. Actually, we work with sub agencies. We work with agencies like Collabora, TGC, and some kind of Thomson Alexander. So we got few clients, okay, which we directly work. So they are like agents. Example, if you take TGC recruiting, they actually have clients with HCL. So they are like a prime vendor of HCL, and we actually work with TGC very closely. So we will get the requirements, especially HCL is hiring for this Walmart and as the collaboration. So we got a lot of requirements coming up. Yes, so I mean, so we will see. I'm telling you, we are not a prime vendor for any kind of bank or something like that straight away. But from my point of view, we know a lot of contacts who are like agencies. So if any requirements is there, they will let us know, and we will send our students to them.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I was asking like, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Is the projects will be mocked? I mean, will it be a mock project, or it will be something like live, sort of, where you can get live
projects
experience?
within our training are like, we got live projects. Okay.
Oh,
so
all right.
Within our
Okay.
training, we live projects. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, guys, please leave a review. I'm really, I mean, it will be really helpful for us. Your reviews are very much helpful for us. Please give a review before you go, and please refer us. Refer us if you need any kind of training and stuff. But anyway, if any knowledge sharing, anything that you need, you can always contact me through LinkedIn. I kept my LinkedIn thing. Okay, and then if you are part of my meetup group, we will send the more meetups coming up. And if you got a specific, then if you want to talk about something in our kind of meetups, where we got a lot of huge crowds coming up. So if you want to talk something specific, you also can do it. Okay, we always encourage people to talk. Okay, any more questions, guys? I think we are running out of time. Sorry. Any more questions?
Just before we go, I just raised my hand. Just before
Yes,
we
Meher,
go,
yeah.
this is Meher. I have seen many people asking about, this is not a question, but I just want to say something. There are many people asking doubts about IT Hub. I'm taking training with IT Hub. I can say that I'm getting very nice support from them. I'm doing testing right now and about live project and everything. Sriram Garu is giving very nice support and all the tutors are very nice. They're teaching us very nicely. So for those who are asking about IT support, I think this is a live review that I can give that it's very good support we are getting from them. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is unexpected, but very unexpected. But yeah, thank you, Meher. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, and I hope that is very helpful. But thank you very much being stepping up and telling about us. That will be really helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, guys, any more questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much, guys. I'm really happy that you all turned up and you all are mute and you are very well disciplined and very nice questions. And very much biggest thanks to Harsha, Harshadar, and Gonesh for taking your time, guys, and giving a wonderful presentation. We had recorded this session. I'll share this after doing some editings and stuff. And thank you very much, and we will keep in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sriram. Thank you,
Thank you.
Ganesh.
Thank you,
It was really
everyone.
good. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sriram.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.